Hello, beautiful souls. Want a simple life, but you feel like it's so hard because the struggle is real and you don't even know what you want and you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. And yet you feel all of these pressures all of the time because society did such a good job manipulating all of us into feeling like we have to, we should. If you're not good enough. They just ripped everything away from simplicity. Unfortunately, everyone is struggling with this breakthrough. But hence I use the word breakthrough because you can break free. How do you live a simple life? Stay with me to the end. I'm going to tell you exactly what they did and how you can undo it and take your power back and live your best life. Simply. We don't even know what that means because they made everything so complicated and so all about like trying to figure out what are we going to do next? Instead of stay right here and now. Simple is about being able to turn off all of the expectations, being able to stay still even in silence, which terrifies most everyone. Did you know that they did a study and they asked people if they would rather have an intense taser shot or could they spend 20 minutes alone, no phone, no nothing, alone in silence in a room? And like a huge percentage chose the taser. Come on. This tells us something. Why? Because they conditioned everyone to be in what is called the fight or flight mode, like survival, like you either feel like I've got to fight, I've got to run, I've got to freeze, I don't know. And so when you're in this vulnerable position, they love it because at any point they can come and offer you anything. You'll be like, okay, sure. And this is what everybody's doing, over consuming everything because you just want that quick fix because you're in so much detrimental chaos within yourself. What you need to do is turn it all off and realize that to live simply, it just means being able, literally, you have to turn all of that off. I remember sitting on my porch here the one day and my brain just going nuts thinking about things from the past. And I caught myself and I went, wait a minute, how long do I want to think about this? How long do I want to stay here? How long do I want to feel this emotion? Like, I don't have to do that. And I changed it and realized, wait a minute, I'm right here, right now. This is a beautiful place. I am completely at peace right where I am. Right where I am at peace. The only thing that's messing me up right now is my conditioned thoughts. Here's the thing. Joe Dispenza talks about it, the mind-body coherence. We literally get addicted to the chemical reaction from negativity. We're so conditioned that when things are good, and I remember when I first got here, that happened for me too. I was like, it was just so good, and I didn't know how to handle so good that the chemical reaction in me was like, wanted to sabotage, I was crying. I was just like, I can't even, like, I can have this all. Yeah, you can. Abundance you need to accept it. You need to accept it and keep convincing yourself that you're worth it. And that simple means not having to, that never have to. You don't should, you always say could, never say should. Say I could. See how that gives you permission now to make a decision? I worked really hard at trying to come up with the verbiage to understand what living simply means and what I really, really want. And I think this is going to resonate with everybody. We all want, more than the lottery, we want control over our time, our space, our energy, our freedom, and our flow. We want to do ultimately what we want to do when we want to do it. We don't want anyone telling us what we should be doing. Feel that? Okay, so then you've got to understand and figure out for yourself, what does that mean? For me, it's like I want control over my time, meaning what am I doing each day? In each moment, I want to be choosing that. And so, again, even if it's a jobby job or something, I best love it because time is the most important thing that we have. And we need to make the best use of it. So I always am thinking, like, how do I want to spend my time? With who, when, how much? Is it serving me? Is it bringing me great joy? My space. I had to learn how to have boundaries around my space. I used to always be just such an open door. Anyone come anytime, right? People pleaser. Oh my God. I love to love and I still like to do that. But choosing again, when, how much, really making a conscious choice about who do I let into my space? And when I go out into the world, what space am I holding? And am I putting myself into environments that really enhance my vibration? Because your space matters and your personal space. Like, who do you let into that? Make sure that it raises you up. So I even started getting to the point where I was like, hey, everybody needs to like call or text me or touch base to make sure that I am in the right vibration, because I started to get so into living more simply and taking care of myself. And that meant turning the world off. And isolation and being alone is not lonely when you're taking the time to really just love yourself and discover who are you and what do you really want beyond everything that you were told you have to and should. Have you ever thought about what would you like? What is your best life really looking like? Time, space, energy, freedom, and flow. The energy, freedom, and flow come when you start to make particular decisions around those things. How are you spending it? Because that then gives you the freedom to each day know that when you're sharing energy with somebody, it's a choice and you're topped up because you have been taking care of your time and your space. And now you're going to be able to share healthy energy, and you're going to choose who you share your energy with and what environments and things are you going into that's going to give you an energy, because that's going to, again, enhance your ability to feel the freedom of being alive and living a life that you're choosing, which then, as soon as you start to learn to say no to all the things that don't lift you up, then you're able to break free. I hope that this resonates. Please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question. I would love to hear where you're at on this journey. And can you sit in silence? Can you really truly turn everything off? Can you go into nature and literally be without a device and truly feel the energy of nature and the trees, the birds and the bees and the flowers? Can you do it? Because simple was back in the day when they called, even when they call some of the countries poor, I'm like, they don't really need a McDonald's, and they don't really need any of this westernized society stuff, and they don't really need the manipulation, because what they are doing is smiling every day with each other with what appears to be nothing, but it's everything. It's everything, because they don't have to feel the pressures of, like, they have to get that next thing and they have to get that next job and they're just living simply. You know, back in the day when I talk to the elders and they talk about, going out into the garden, and you bring in the food, and mom made the dinner and everybody sat around the table and had taken part in it. And there was such a gratitude, that fulfillment. Think about all of the time that they spent together, and their hands were in the soil and they were in nature. That's simple. But We've been robbed of that because we're in a westernized, industrialized, McDonaldized society that keeps us on a hamster wheel that feeds them and not us. But here we are at this breakthrough. I'm going to say it over and over again. You get to choose the breakthrough. Take your power back, learn to sit in silence, choose what it is that you want, and how you're going to spend your time, space, energy, freedom, and flow. It's all up to you. I believe in you. Stay with me, subscribe, and let's keep growing, because together is how we rise. Much love.